Kenyila, Yeshaga, My name is Tunda Lepore. I'm an indigenous Maasai woman from Kenya. Ashibagino Ara Emasani. I am proud to be Maasai.
Ahogo, uwele, lewe, ihogo. Now, my name is Temba Chawuke. I am from South Africa. I am from the indigenous peoples who we call ourselves Tsonga. Na tinyungubyisa swinene hikuva Mutsonga muchangana o chava ku tsongola xa munhu. I'm very much proud to be a Tsonga Shangan person because we don't steal from anyone.
To joko silo fudwa emalata ya kitare ya Serbia. My name is Ocheno Bashir. I come from the Karamojong community that is located in northeastern part of Uganda. Amina ka teker arayong Karamojong. I'm proud of my culture. As Karamojong, we hold our culture close to our heart, and it's part of us. It's part of our identity.
My name is Dewali Uni. I'm from Turtle Island. I'm proudly Indigenous.
My name is Chef Aburo, and I'm proudly Ghanaian Indigenous.
My name is Derek, and I'm proud to be Anishinaabe, Native American to America.
My community faces mostly the challenge of prolonged drought, and this causes our animals to die. And also, as an indigenous woman, you find that, or a woman in general, we face more challenges, or we have to work more harder than the men because we have children that we have to take care of, and calamities actually affect women more than it affects our male gender.
As Indigenous people, we face problems like land and water and seeds being taken from us.
Our biggest challenges are land rights. You know, we don't have much land access, especially as Indigenous people. We're faced with a lot of unfortunate consequences of colonization, what has led to climate change and overall loss of habitat for lots of our plants and animal relatives.
The effect of Indigenous people is very subtle. There are a lot of people that are losing their Indigenous sense, their Indigenous pride. People are no longer eating Indigenous food. People are no longer listening to Indigenous music. They're straying away from Indigenous culture in general. And so
the main challenge that we're facing as Indigenous people is the land grabbing. Families are growing and babies are being born, and there's less and less land for our people to live on because the land is being taken for business, for pipelines, for fracking, and those are the major problems that we're facing.
So the biggest challenge, I think, is like people now recognize us, but people recognize us, it will have the very difficult way with the sustainable, environmental sustainable, like our traditional, and also another side of the entrepreneurship, and also like economic development.
So among the women, there are lots of the trafficking and the migration. The migrants are there are lots of the migration is happening, and among the women we are facing the trafficking of the tribal women. The many people going towards the side for the domestic purpose as well as the mining and the factory also. So this is the biggest problem of the tribal, among the tribal people, the women. When we talk about the migration of the tribal women for the trafficking, they are being a trafficking to others, to the other part of the country in India. So we are facing particularly the land about the grabbing. The many government, like we have the policy of the land system. So we are facing the land, our forest, the forest religious community. Until unless we talk about the land, we protect our land. We cannot live without the land. So among the India, all over part of the India, particularly when we talk about the Jharkhand province, this is the land is the basically part among the women are facing, because women lots of the things they fetch from the lands actually. So now the land, it's become a very big problem for us, because the land is the part of our the all the, when we talk about the land, there are lots of the minings and the industrial people, they're going among the India. And basically when we talk about the Jharkhand community, the Jharkhand state, we have around only the 26% people of the Jharkhand, and because of the land and because of the forest, we have 29% of the Jharkhand, the forest land. And because we have lots of the minerals, 80% minerals comes from the Jharkhand only, and it's going towards the India, all over the India. We now facing the land, particularly forest land, where the indigenous women, they go to collect their primary produce as well as the forest produce.
One of the challenges we face in Karamoja is climate change. People don't know when to plant. People don't know when to do everything, because the climate is changing. Sometimes you can want to plant something, but again after planting again sunshine comes, so it is really unpredictable, and this has affected the livelihoods of the Karamojongs. Normally during dry season, because there is no water and pastures for animals, we move to very far locations, like to look for water and pastures with the animals. But of course, we have also faced resistance from the wildlife authority. We have faced resistance from the neighboring communities that are majorly doing crop production. So it has become really something very hard. Then the government also, from the other side, they are discouraging this aspect of moving with animals from place to place. They are encouraging us to start this kind of zero grazing or paddocking, which is really something very hard. Looking at our culture, we are pastoralists, and that is our way of life. We move with the animals from one place to another. But of course, the government has pushed us to the wall, and it has really become very hard for us.
The challenges that we are facing now, we are currently facing the issue that the land has become a commodity. The communal land is becoming a commodity, whereby I see disaster coming in the next 5 to 10 years, because people are not going to have their grazing lands. They're not going to have the land where they're going to do their farmings. And also, because we also depend on as what you call gathering, where we gather things like mopan worms among others. So meaning those trees are going to be cut off due to the land becoming sold to the private owners. In South Africa, the Tsonga or the Shangaan people are most discriminated people. They are associated with the foreigners, because any foreigners in South Africa is called a Shangaan, which means, and it's my clan. Even if you are a Nigerian, you are called a Shangaan, because in the country we are the Tsonga people or the Shangaan people. They are the only people that we don't have a recognized kingdom, because during the division of Africa, our king was the Tsonga Shangaan people king was captured by the Portuguese, while the other Tsonga Shangaan people remained on the other part of South Africa, which was captured by the British. So the argument is that by the South African government is that we didn't capture your king, your Tsonga king or the Shangaan kingdom was captured by the Portuguese. So we are the Tsonga people are the only people who does not have the kingdom in South Africa.
What we are doing with the Slow Food Network is to support women in their quest to diversify our diets, because it's no longer sustainable to rely on animal products. Therefore, we are building, we are helping women to have kitchen gardens, and which are easy to manage, and we adopted the multi-story gardens and then we plant indigenous vegetables as opposed to the normal vegetables that you get in the market, just to make sure, because their nutritional values are high, and also to curb the issue of malnutrition in the community.
And so what I do as a chef is I try to inculcate a lot of indigenous food, indigenous stories, music in all my dining experiences. And this is empowered by an NGO I work with called the Ghana Food Movement. And so with the Ghana Food Movement, what we do is we project Ghanaian food, Ghanaian agriculture, and I project indigenous food from northern Ghana as well. Okay. Yes, so for me, in different places you get to hear people say indigenous people are whack, indigenous people are backward, but I always say indigenous people are the coolest in the world. Indigenous people have the coolest food. Indigenous people have the coolest music. Indigenous people have the coolest fashion. Indigenous people are the vibe.
Different indigenous tribes throughout the world have stretched their ears to represent knowledge from the ancestors and the elders coming in and teaching us and expanding our knowledge of the universe and of the natural world. So it's a representation of different people and different indigenous beliefs on the knowledge that we can learn. And we teach people how to save their seeds and the importance of water and how to grow on their own land, even if it's just small amounts.
Yeah, so I work a lot with youth. I teach our young ones about those awesiog, those wild beings. And as my elders say, is if you don't honor those plants and animals, they'll go away and they want to go back home. So I'm teaching those young ones about how to eat wild foods and how to honor them, whether it's for food, medicine, or utility, so we can keep those teachings alive and continue to practice our culture. Our indigenous foods are what feed us emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. And they're slowly going away with climate change, so we need to act now and advocate for those wild beings.
It's our community, yes. In our community, we are very simple, and we believe in our togetherness, and we live with the land. We are the indigenous community, live with the land. Without the nature, we can't live, we can't survive. So as we already talked about, around 25% revenue earns from the forest produce. So it depends, unless we don't have our land, we can't survive. So through food, I am just connecting the people. I made a slow food, as a member slow food community in Jharkhand province. So through food, just I am awareing the people to protect the forest produce as well as the farm, which is the indigenous produce.
We're giving the women the message that they have voices too, and that they're strong and they need to speak up for our communities.
So as the young woman, as the indigenous young woman, we're trying to find a balance, and then we can also learn from our elders, but also we can use our own way to have more sustainable entrepreneurship. Then this is the biggest issue that we are trying to figure out how can work, and also how can we as the young leader in the indigenous network to work together. We have the diversity indigenous people in Taiwan, but we don't really be recognized by others country. And our initiative is that we want to sharing our food culture as the diversity that we are to the world. And also we love people to come to our country to realize us and also enjoy and sharing the life all together. For my own experience or for my own life, I think it's about life. It's about the thing that our mother gave us, and also our ancestors they passed to us, and also our elders teach us. So I think all of our food, our life, our song, our dance is all connect together. It cannot separate. You need to all together because it is also our part of our life. So as a life, you cannot separate each other. We eat food and we dance, we also sing. We sing because we like to eat some food. We also sing to our land, we also sing to our wine as well. That's the thing that we are doing as a life.
Then as a coping mechanism, we have now gone back to also growing some kind of crops. Meaning right now we are pastoralists. We grow also some crops, meanwhile rearing also animals.